Alright, welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man back in the studio, and today we're taking a look at the new kill team, Into the Dark. What is in the box? Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. Much like the Depths of a Space Hulk, the next box set for kill team has so far been a bit of a mystery. We know it features the Kroot Kinband rucking with the Imperial Navy on an ancient derelict in deep space, but we've so far been kept, one might say, in the dark. Clever, GW. Clever. Not anymore. This time has come to take a big old gaze at all the lovely stuff you'll get in the launch box for this new season of Kill Team. Alright, so we can see pretty clearly, just in this quick little picture here, it is a regular board. It's not plastic floor tiles or plastic board or whatever. They may come later, but it's obviously not the case. And then the roof or like ceiling or whatever that we saw in the picture as well was just like I said. It was just an upside down zone mortalis style. And then the actual terrain in the set is this new style of like walls. It looks like there's a decent amount of scattered terrain, doors, and then obviously a bunch of models as well. So we'll take a look at the whole article and then we'll kind of circle back around. This box contains absolutely everything you need to get stuck in with the best sci-fi skirmish game in the galaxy, including rules, terrain, tokens, cars, combat gauges, dice, and 24 miniatures, making up 2 complete kill teams. Take a look. So we will do exactly that. We'll take a look. Obviously have it muted just in case GW has any random sound effects or music or anything. So we'll just watch through this and then have a closer look. So here we see the Imperial, what do they say, Navy navigators, and then the Kroot. So far the models look great, and it looks like there's around 10 of each, maybe give or take a little bonus guy here or there. Decent amount of scatter terrain, definitely has like a nice industrial look to it. Everything you need to play. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. I like the detail in it. It's sort of Sector Mechanicus looking, so it should blend pretty well overall. Let's take a look while we have the side of the box here. So we see 1 Kroot Hound, 2 Kroot Hounds, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 12 Kroot in the warband. 2 Hounds, the Shaper, and 9 other guys. We can't quite make out the details, but at this point in time we've probably seen all the models at least once. So let's kind of watch back through this just one more time and see if we could pick up any more cool details or anything. So opening pick, I really like the detail. You know, obviously some cool like patina and everything on the setup, but the overall like aesthetic of the Space Hulk looks good to me. I definitely like it. Definitely like it. Alright, so here we see the Imperial Navy. So we see 1, 2, there's our leader, so 3 of them, and the cat. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we see 10 Imperial Navy, we see the cat, and then we see a servo skull down here as well. So it looks like 12 and 12. I'm not sure obviously what the cat will do or what the servo skull will do. It looks like overall they are armed with shotguns. Obviously we have like the breacher with shield. You can see like a couple specialists as well. I imagine we'll get a better look at the models. So I did notice the sergeant had a huge knife. That shield is pretty cool right there. And then here we see the Kroot. So here's our Shaper up front, 2 Kroot Hounds. Here we see the guy with like the bow and arrow. Can't quite make out the guy in the back there. This one appears to have a bow and arrow as well. This one looks more standard. Here's the one we just got shown off with the rifle in the air and the bird on top. And then it looks like maybe melee. This guy possibly has like 2 pistols or a pistol and a blade. I can't quite tell. Look good. Definitely look good. I mean, we can see again the board. This just looks like a regular like cardboard type fold out board, which isn't bad or anything. But I mean, people were talking about how it was new floor style system and all that. And let's be real. You know, I said right off the bat, there was no way that was going to happen, just because these box sets are costing between like $200 and $300. And we see what was in like the Zone Mortalis Necromunda box set, and that was priced at almost $300 and didn't come with floors. So you would get very little actual terrain if they were going to include the floors in the set. And I think one set of the Zone Mortalis floors, four tiles, is like $65, and that only works out to like a 2x2 surface. And Kill Team is played on like 22 by 30 inches. So you would essentially need like over 4 tiles, or like 4 bigger tiles at least. So that's like $65+ of what's in the box set right off the bat. So it just didn't seem likely. So now, will they come separately later and you can buy like legit floors and they clip in? Who knows, maybe. So here's the shaper. Pretty cool overall. Definitely looks like the art. And then here we see like bow and arrow, kind of like sniper looking kind of guy. So here's a pretty good overview shot of it. So we see that the floor style is obviously different than the Zone Mortalis. It still looks similar, but you can't quite tell the measurements or anything like that. These are much, much smaller than the Zone Mortalis pillars. Like they're I guess like a footprint. So it's possible they clip into the existing stuff, but seems very, very unlikely. Hard to tell the distance in between them. But the way the spacing is in Zone Mortalis, it's very, very specific. So it seems very unlikely that this stuff is going to fit into there. So just kind of breaking it down, we see there's like some off-skirt stuff coming out from the walls. So that's pretty cool. We see there's obviously like some scatter terrain, kind of like generator, engine pieces, etc. Some crates and everything. We see a little more like kind of offshoot scatter terrain from the walls. It appears there's a bunch of the like sort of pillar things, and then the walls in between them. We don't know how they're going to attach or anything like that, but I would not expect it to be like as interlocking as the Zone Mortalis stuff. It appears, based on how these wall pieces attach to the pillars, that there's like extra little bits on the pillars that you can choose to use or not to use, because normally the wall would have to connect there, so it couldn't connect if that little piece was attached. And then here we see a different style like pillar here, where obviously a wall couldn't connect to that because there's stuff in the way of where the wall would connect. So it looks like there are various ways you can assemble these pillars. Some are meant to be like freestanding walls, others are meant to have like little accessories, and then some it looks like obviously you're going to want to like leave alone so the wall can insert in there. So pretty cool overall. Looks like it's going to be a cool set. I trust GW's ability to engineer cool plastic terrain like indoor walls and stuff, because Zone Mortalis was just so phenomenal. So keep going here. Again, we can kind of see everybody laid out. I do like how the doors are set up, built right into the walls. Very cool. I also like the way these walls work compared to the Zone Mortalis stuff, because my main issue with the Zone Mortalis stuff is there's so much wasted space, because each of these pillars is like a big and chunky pillar, and then the walls in between are like 2 big pieces with like a big empty space in the middle, which is cool, but it wastes a ton of board space. As where with these walls, the total width of the wall is like a 1/2 inch. With like the Zone Mortalis stuff, the wall thickness is like 2 inches, so you would lose like, you know, 1.5 inches of play space for each wall every time you put a wall on there. So it's just not viable for like a small game, because you're basically just like wasting a bunch of your table space. So it looks pretty good overall. Definitely liking it. Nice looking content. Some cool, unique stuff coming. I like the scatter terrain. I like the kill teams. Obviously, we know what's going to come book-wise. Here again, we kind of see the terrain. Looks nice. The board has like good graphics on it. Appears to be like a non-reflective surface, so it should be good for like battle reports and photography. Oh, here's a little close-up at our like chain fist wielding bro right here. Pretty cool. Can't quite make out what that is right there. It looks like the front of a las cannon almost. Let's see if we can just go back a tiny bit and see a little more of that. Yeah, not really. I mean, it looks like a las cannon with like a side handle on it, but tough to tell. Tough to tell. Really nice details on the stat overall, though. Really nice details. I like the little offskirts from the walls and everything. I like the new style crates. I mean, the old style crates are good too, but obviously more is always better. I like the doors. It looks like the way they're set up too, that they're able to actually like swivel here. So you should be able to open and close the doors without gluing them. Otherwise, it'd be very, very easy to magnetize, but I imagine it's already set up. Cool, like little displays and everything, lock systems, all that. Looks like a nice set. Definitely exciting. Looking forward to this. And then we already know for this season of Kill Team, we're going to be basically expanding onto this board, as the next basically like 4 boxes, including this one, are going to be taking place on this Space Hulk. So we can expect similar stuff, but probably with a slightly different theme that has something to do with the teams that are in there or the part of the ship that we're interacting with. So maybe if there's like, you know, well, yeah, you get it. The themes, obviously. We see there's cards in the set too. We see there's the Into the Dark book and the core book. So this core book right here appears to be the same core book from the regular game. I mean, same art and everything. There's obviously going to be some different rules for inside, maybe how the doors work and stuff like that, like switches, etc. They will probably be in Into the Dark book, the same way that they added in like various terrain rules and extra stuff in the previous editions. So this appears to be a starter set, the same way that Octarius was a starter set. Now, since then, the prices have changed so much. Octarius was 200, then Chalnath was 170, then they slowly crept back up to 200. So I would imagine this coming out now, if the previous starter was 200, I would imagine this is going to come out at the same as the warcry price for the new set. So I would assume this will be 230 USD, 180 euros, or 140 British pounds. And then again, it's going to be 12, it looks like, and then our terrain. And it looks like a pretty nicely set up board. Obviously, you can configure it a lot of different ways, but you have like one big room, one like medium room, a small room, and then quite a bit of area to interact on like the outskirts or within. So I do like this set. I think it looks nice. The game board looks nice. We can confirm that as of now, there is definitely not plastic floors. This is definitely a regular game board, like fold out type deal. So let's take a look at the rest of the article, and we'll wrap it up there. So this time the small squad action is heading into the dank, sprawling corridors of the Gallowdark. Lost in the warp for more than 4 millenniums, the Space Hulk has suddenly returned to the material realm, attracting interested boarding parties from all over the galaxy. And it would make sense that likely we see squats come into one of these in the near future, or possibly against like Tyranids or something like that. Imperial Navy breachers. The Imperial Navy armsmen are the fighting troops of the Imperial Navy. They garrison Navis Imperialis assets, anything from orbital stations to mighty battleships. Breachers are the elite, blunt instrument trained extensively in close-quarter fighting techniques and the perfect Imperial candidates to make first contact with the denizens of the Gallowdark. So here we see the squad leader with a bolt pistol and big old sword. We see a shotgunner right there. That's our first two. Another shotgunner here with a pretty cool like breaching axe right there and gun strapped on the side. That's 4. Here we have 6, including the cat, and this guy's running like a commander. Nice looking models. Here's 8. We have the shield and shotgun. We have the what appears to be a las cannon heavy gunner right there. Very cool. And then here is 10 right here with the servo skull, and again someone like commanding it. Okay, wow, really stacking up. And then we have the chain fist, and we have also, not sure exactly what's going on right here, but some kind of specialist. Maybe is that a grenade in the hand right there? Alright, so it appears you get 10. Wait, did I just lose count? Alright, so 2 regular, 4 regular, 5 in the cat, 7 in the cat, 8 the cat and the skull, so 10, and then the cat and the skull, so 12 members. So that sounds right. That's what we were expecting. These bold boarders fight with combat shotguns, blast shields, and other breaching tools, perfect for getting up close and personal. You get 12 miniatures in all, 10 breachers, a cat unit, a Geist skull. Even dead breachers don't get to retire. and not when their skulls are the perfect size for holding a compact explosive. Okay, so that's cool. Very nice looking models. And I'm a big fan of the previous Kill Team set. With the, of course, now I can't think of it all of a sudden. Oh my gosh, with the Gallowdark Infected and the Elucidian Starstriders, Rogue Trader. So these to me look like a new version of the Elucidian Starstriders. Not only just like the actual colors and like the helmets, but just overall the outfits look like Imperial Elucidian Starstriders. So I think this is kind of like the new revamped version of them. I really like the Gallowdark, so hopefully they come back as well. And then for the Farstalker Kinband, the Kroot are an ever-evolving race of carnivorous warriors known throughout the galaxy as savvy mercenaries. Relying on their fighting skills and extraordinary fieldcraft, their Farstalker Kinbands range far and wide across the galaxy, looking for fresh strains of beneficial genetic material to bring back to their shapers. And if you're not familiar, the Kroot eat the freshly dead and evolve like instantaneously or in very short periods of time to gain like their intelligence or mutations, etc. Pretty cool, but also a little bit gross. Fits right into 40k. So here we see the shaper. We have some sort of like specialist, gun on the shoulder, knife in the hand. We see like this crazy cool like bow and arrow, a double pistoler. I like the masks. Here we see a sniper crouched down. Somebody just hip shooting. A double bladed Kroot. Here we see one of the hounds. Here we see the heavy weapon. So I did spot this in one of the earlier videos and I hadn't heard anybody mention it. But there's no denying it now. The Kroot definitely have some form of big old heavy weapon. So very cool. And then obviously we see like the scout and the second hound. And then this guy's got like a bionic leg. Pretty cool. Nice looking models. Really, really nice looking models. Definitely a nice set. And cool to see some Kroot coming. This particular group earned the right to loot the Gallowdark first, only to be left stranded when the Imperial Navy turned up and forced their war sphere to withdraw. I don't know why that was such a mouthful. Forced their war sphere to withdraw. Now they stalk the Space Hulk corridors, seeking a means of escape. There are 12 miniatures in all, 10 Kroot, including the keen-eyed Kroot tracker and her bird, and 2 loyal Kroot hounds. So, and then here we can see the terrain set up without anything else on the board. So there's no scatter terrain here. This is just basically the walls. Looks good. Obviously, you know, not as exciting as when everything's on the board and it's all new and you're trying to pick out like what's what. It does appear that the doors very clearly open and close, no problem. So they are built with swivels. There's a bunch of door pieces and solid wall pieces, a bunch of pillars, a bunch of scatter terrain, and 24 models, and then a couple books. And then it sounded like tokens and dice would be included as well. It said everything you need to play. As any Kill Team veteran will tell you, the kill zone makes the game. Oh, and the cards as well. And while this warren of walls, doors, pillars, panels, tanks, pipes makes for some frighteningly claustrophobic encounters on the Gallowdark. So we'll assume this is, I guess, everything that comes in the set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. 2 little walls, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Alright, so it's definitely not everything that comes in the set. Oh, I apologize. I take it back. Some of these are built in to the walls. Okay, so look how they connect. It's basically like just a push-fit connection. I like that. I do like that. That is very cool. So you'll be able to basically like just build these up and then pull them back apart, no problem. And then it looks like you'll get 8 freestanding pillars, and then the rest of the pillars are built into the walls. And then the walls have either like pillar end caps or open end caps. So you have a pretty nice selection. And then here we see this one, the door is just swung open on that one, whereas where like all the other doors are closed. Very cool. And then we see some of like the accessory bits that can go onto the walls. Some tanks, some important other stuff, just to kind of build out like some of the like line of sight blocking stuff. You get a massive collection of 54 individual parts in this box and an almost infinitely expandable. Okay, so I'm assuming it's talking about just the terrain when it says 54 individual parts. Not least when the next set arrives 3 months later, bringing with it a whole new set of compatible Space Hulk scenery. So yeah, it looks like you'd be able to just build right onto this and just keep expanding your kill team. Very cool. I do like the theme of this and everything. So core book appears to be the standard core book. The art basically tells me it's going to be the regular book. And then the Into the Dark book. Normally I would say that all the rules would be in the core book, but they have added in door and like indoor rules in the past and kind of kept them a little bit separate. So I imagine they'll be in the Into the Dark book the same way that we saw like different terrain rules and everything in the other books. There are 2 rule books contained within the set. A 144-page kill team core book containing the full rule set and everything you need to know to fight fast-paced skirmishes in the 41st millennium on solid ground or in the depth of space, and the Kill Team Into the Dark rules manual. This 120-page tome contains full kill zone and close quarters rules for scrapping in the confined spaces of the Gallowdark, as well as 18 missions, 9 each for narrative and match play, plus a new type of campaign and all the rules and lore you'll need to play the 2 teams you get in the box. Alright, sounds good. Right in line with what we've seen previously. 9 missions for each narrative and competitive or match play. Also includes the shadow story of the mysterious Space Hulk. And then the gubbins. So interesting. Okay, so we see the tokens. We see the dice. We see the cards. All look pretty standard. The coloring looks a little off or different. But we do see the measuring device here, and we see only one of the smaller ones and one of the longer ones. And in the previous set, you got 2 of these and 1 of these, and then the barricades were part of the same sprue. So I am assuming this is a new, different sprue with just these 2 pieces on it. It seems strange that they would not show the barricades anywhere if they were going to come with the set. It is possible they just left off the second one of these, though. But definitely looks like a new sprue on top of that. So on top of all that, you get all the equipment, counters, cards, and so on for the full team kill team experience. That means a sheet of 85 double-sided tokens, including objectives, order tokens, and injury markers, 10 6-sided dice, signature kill team orange, 2 tac-op decks, each containing 27 cards, and 1 double-sided game board to host all of your bulkhead and barricades. Huh. Interesting. So they don't mention the measuring devices at all. Right? Sheet of 85 double-sided tokens, including objectives, order tokens, injury markers, 10 6-sided dice in the kill team orange, 2 tac-up decks, each containing 27 cards, and 1 double-sided game board to host all your bulkheads and barricades. So I'm not sure. The barricades are what came with these previously. So it doesn't mention these at all. It doesn't show what should be a second one of these, and then nowhere do we see barricades like the ones that came in this. So I'm not sure if this is going to be a new sprue or if it's going to be the old barricade and measuring device sprue. But interesting. Phew, that's a real bundle. These new rules are completely compatible with all the Kill Team releases in the edition so far, from the existing box expansions, issues of White Dwarf, and Kill Team Compendium. And there's more to come. The Gallowdark is a big place, and we'll be exploring its vast and varied environs for a while. There's some very cool new visitors coming to the corridors on that 3-month release cycle. So every 3 years, every quarter. So interesting. Overall, pretty cool. Nice to see everything kind of laid out here. Couple questions, but mostly answers, which is always nice because a lot of times we end up with more answers or questions than answers. I really do like the overall look of the Kroot. Very, very nice. They were obviously very overdue for an upgrade, and then obviously these Kroot will be fully functional in 40k. I would imagine there'll be some special rules added in for maybe like the heavy weapon and some of the other stuff. Really, really nice looking models right here. No surprise though, obviously, as we saw the Blackstone Fortress, Dayak Grek looks really nice. And then for the Imperial Navy breacher bros and ladies. Look good. Look good. I like them. They're definitely interesting. They fit the current aesthetic of 40k with a little something different. It's still interested in what's going on with the bases. Still very interested in what's going on with the bases. Like, are these tiny little like bits of stuff that you get that you can glue to your bases? Or, I mean, they look like the tiny little like push fit skulls that just kind of fit into like the hole. But the position of the feet makes it seem like on a model like this, it's not going to be like a push fit type base. It's more likely going to be a slotted base. But I don't know. They seem to have been getting away from like the slotted bases. But we see the kind of like lines on a lot of the bases. Obviously, it could be just part of the base or the paint job. I'm not really sure, honestly. Definitely curious. Sorry, I'm just looking at the position of the feet to see if we could tell. Is this like 10 unique models? And it does appear to be so. So yeah, not really sure what's going on with the bases. Obviously, this is like part of the skull. Little bomb skull. Pretty cool though. I do like it. Really like the models. Really like the set overall. Looking forward to this. I mean, let's be real though. Probably going to be seeing a price increase on this. Probably going up to $230. So if the last Kill Team starter set was $200, and the other ones have slowly crept up towards like $200, I would expect this one to get the warcry treatment and go to $230. So $230 for this. You know, is it a good deal? No, $230 is a lot for anything Warhammer. But that being said, it's a nice box. It's got some cool indoors terrain in it. 2 cool new unique teams and a bunch of scatter terrain. You know, one thing I also noticed they don't show in this, they don't actually show the like scatter terrain crates. So there's definitely like a lot of stuff that they always miss on these. Now let's be real. We know that Games Workshop is horrible at editing and does a terrible, terrible job both writing and, I mean, pretty much anything. They just do a poor job executing anything, with the exception of making cool models. When it comes to articles, they're terrible. Rules, they're terrible. Descriptions, equally bad. But they're great at making models. So we see the crate stacks. Can't quite tell how they go. It does appear that they are either glued all exactly the same way, or that's like the only way to assemble them. I'm not sure. I would assume there's 4. Yeah, so we see 1 stack of 4 right here. 2, 3, 4 in red and blue. And then again, we see like all the little wall off skirts. And it seems like everything is like paired up. So pretty cool. Nice set overall. This like broken piece right here matches up with that broken piece right there. Did I see that in the pictures? It's like obviously my first time seeing all this stuff as well, so I don't actually see which piece that is, but I do see now. This is cool. So this is how they slot into the wall pieces. Obviously they have like the cool connections and everything, but yeah, I'm not sure. And obviously we know a couple things aren't pictured, so it's not crazy to think that they have forgot to describe or show some of the stuff that's included in the box. But I would assume anything in these pictures is definitely included. So I'm not sure. Maybe that is that other piece. I don't know. Interesting. I don't see that kind of like pipe-like piece in there. This is the tall piece, and that basically makes a support, like a I-beam, like kind of like crossing 2 pieces. That's what I was thinking it maybe was, but I didn't see like the angled connection piece. So yeah, interesting. We'll definitely break this down. I think the most important things to see here are, 1, we know how the terrain is. 2, we know how it goes together and everything, which is a cool new way to basically like expand on, build in, etc. So I do like that. We know that the future maps are going to have similar terrain that can expand onto this. The 2 kill teams are really nice. We've seen them like fully laid out now. We know that the actual board is going to be just like a fold out board, not a like plastic tile system, which is okay. That's fine. I think overall this is awesome. Tons of cool info, tons of good stuff, and obviously I'm a huge Kill Team fan. It's my favorite game. I will definitely be picking this up. And again, I would assume the price is going to be probably around that $230 mark. So but I think that's it for today. We can go ahead and wrap it up there. If you noticed anything I didn't, feel free to share down below. If you have any questions, comments, if you just want to interact, please leave a comment down below. It really helps out, and I try to respond to every comment. Obviously sometimes videos go nuts and there's just way too many for me to respond to, but I do try to interact with everyone as much as I can. Overall, very nice set. Obviously, if you liked the content today, if you got something out of it, enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe for daily Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, Warcry, and Horus Heresy content as well. And then obviously everything from reactions, reviews, and news like this. We also have tons and tons of tutorials for painting, modeling, conversions, magnetization, pretty much anything you can imagine. So check out those playlists as well. But that's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.